So this is my video presentation of my reading binder. It's very thick. I think I actually need to get a bigger binder. I don't really like to read online, so a lot of the readings I printed. So a lot of my sections have the readings in them, which actually I think in the end is better because then I can look over the reading for each section, and it kind of refreshes everything for me. So the beginning of my binder has some vocabulary terms that I've kept track of over the quarter, and then I also have the UDL guidelines, and then just a little bit about Common Core standards, and then the lesson plan template. And so it's just, like the UDL standards and lesson planning and some vocab. And then as far as my major sections go, they're really connected to what we did kind of each week. So it starts with like direct instruction, and then early literacy and phonemic awareness, goes into phonics, decoding, spelling. I have a lot of sections. Fluency, comprehension, and then reading in secondary grades, writing, and then my final section is just all those literary based reading activities that we did in class. I just can't really see. And then I broke those down into like before reading activities, during reading activities, and your end of reading activities. And a lot of my sections are also broken into, so like for this early literacy and phonemic awareness, they're broken into like, here's my article about phonemic awareness, and then here's some activities that pair with it, as well as assessments. And that goes through on a lot of my different ones. Here's phonics and decoding, and then I have the nonsense word fluency and activities and assessments for those as well. So I break it down pretty intense throughout the whole binder. I really like to organize things, so I got very into breaking it down to where in a year from now when I'm looking at this again, I'll be able to find things really quickly without having to really, dig through. And then a couple areas I wanted to highlight. This is just a quick little one. My lesson planning area with the UDL guidelines, and then it has this, making sense of Common Core standards, and then also I have the lecture notes in here from that, and then a lesson plan. Well, there's my first one with the feedback that I got, and then just the basic lesson plan. This section I've actually already used several times within our own class when creating projects and stuff like that, but also for other classes like Ruth's class and stuff. I've looked at this before starting a lesson plan because this is great, and I've even used this in our IEP class. So this has been something that I've kind of utilized across all the content that we've learned all the classes. And I really see myself using it a lot more. Eventually I might have to pull it and have like my own lesson planning binder, but for now it fits in here. Another section that I really like in my binder is my writing section. It's a little smaller, and I was actually hoping that I could ask you to make that lecture visible, or the PowerPoint visible online so that I could print it, because I really liked the like tree diagram, and I could totally see using that in my minor placement for some of the kids that are really having a hard time creating really well written things. I'd like to look into more about how to like create conclusions, because that's really where they're struggling. And then I also have, I was able to go to like a writing pathways workshop at my major placement, which I guess I technically wasn't supposed to be there, but my teacher wanted me to go, so I went. And so I have the notes from that, and it teaches me a little bit about making repertoire charts. And so I like that as well. Another section that I really like, and is actually embedded, I think I'm going to use a lot, I already have used a lot, and is actually embedded throughout my whole binder, as my direct instruction section, and it mostly is just these lecture notes that you gave us, but then even within like my phonemic awareness one and phonics, I have activities that we did in class that were related to direct instruction. And I've used those, well, obviously for our class when creating lessons, but I will be continuing my sight word direct instruction lesson with the boys in my class that I most recently did, because that's something the teacher wants me to work on throughout the year. So that's something, this is a section I will be going back to, and will definitely be utilizing a lot, even just before the end of the year is over. And then just, yeah, finally, I really like that we did all these literacy activities. There are a lot of great ideas, and I can really see myself pulling one of these in the future to utilize in class, especially like the Venn diagram. I'm thinking about using with one of my students in my major placement that is having reading comprehension problems. So yeah, these are just, I'm really excited about my binder, actually. I really like it. I think I need to get a bigger one, but I know I'm going to use it throughout the rest of the year and definitely into probably several years to come. I look forward to figuring out what things I initially thought were going to be the things I would look at the most, and then end up actually being the things that I look at the most. It should be pretty interesting. I definitely think I'm going to be using it. And I even showed it to my mom, and she was all excited about it. She's a kindergarten teacher, and she's like, "Oh, it's perfect." It was pretty funny, but yeah. So that's my video presentation of my binder, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.